Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to all of you. So this is lab 2. You will learn about inter-VLAN and static routing. So in this activity, what you will do first, you will perform basic switch configuration, and then you will implement inter-VLAN routing. And later on, you will also learn how to perform or to configure static routing in a network. So this is the topology for today. You may refer to the lab sheet on the ULearn. And first we may look to the IPv4, the topology itself, and the IPv4 addressing table. So this is a topology. So we have three router here, which is router 1, router the ISP router, and also the router 3 on the branch. And this is the network address. So the network address for the network between router 1 and ISP is 200.200.200.0/30, and the network for the branch is 200.200.200.4/30. And then we have two VLAN here, which address for the first VLAN, VLAN 10, 192.168.1.0/25, and the second VLAN, VLAN 20, the network address is 192.168.1.128/28. So basically we implement VLSM here. So the main network is 192.168.1.0/24. So the connection, you must make sure that the connection is done correctly. So because on the switch, we will assign the port from port F01 until F09 to VLAN 10, and F010 to F0/19 to VLAN 20. So if we look at the IPv4 addressing, the same goes to the other network on the branch, but we will mostly focus on the connection on router 1 for today. So if you look on the IPv4 addressing table, so you can see that for VLAN 10 on R1, so it will be assigned to the sub interface of G/0/0.10. And for VLAN 20 on R1, so we will assign sub interface of G0/0.20, and this is the IPv4 address. Okay. Now, first what we will do, if you will refer to part 1, you need to configure the PCs, configure all the PC with the IP address on the addressing table. So I'll just do part 1 first. So on the PC, so you go to your packet tracers and refer to PC0 first, go to desktop and go to the IP configuration. So we just enter the IP address according to the IPv4 addressing table, and the IP address is 192.168.1.126. So basically the practice here is we use the last usable address in the network to be assigned to the PC. Okay, so the subnet mask you must follow, because PC0 use subnet mask of CIDR 25. So you look back here, PC0 use the subnet mask of CIDR 25 here. So the subnet mask is 255.255.255.128. So you need to edit the subnet mask on the IP configuration. So the default gateway according to the IPv4 addressing table is 192.168.1.1. So basically here we assign the first usable address to the router's interface. Okay, once we are done here, so we do for PC1, so the same process, which is the IP address is 192.168.1.142. So notice that now the CIDR has changed because we are using VLSM for VLAN 20, and the CIDR has changed to /28. Okay, so for /28, the subnet mask is 255.255.255.240, and the default gateway is the first usable address in the network. So the IP address for the sub interface is 192.168.1.129. So now we are done with the PCs. So the next step is we will configure the basic configuration on the switch. So now if you can see on part 2, step 1, you have to configure the switch and change the host name to S1, but I will skip that because I already changed my host name accordingly. And the next thing on step 2, you have to save the configuration by issuing the command copy run start. So I'll just skip that for the moment, but you have to do that and change the prompt here to S1. Now, if you are going to part 3 here, so what you have to do on part 3 is you have to test the connectivity. So basically, if you test the connectivity, PC0 and PC1 are both in different VLAN, so there will be a fault in the connectivity. You might not be able to ping from PC0 to PC1 or PC2 to PC3 because we haven't configured any inter-VLAN configuration yet. If you were to test it, okay, so you just click on the PC and then ping. So we will ping the this is PC0, so we will ping PC1, which IP is 192.168.1.142. So you can see that you won't be able to ping yet because there's no inter-VLAN routing being configured on the switch and on the router. So I'll just close this down. So now what we're going to do is we will set up the VLAN. So refer to part 4, configure VLAN, step 1. So you have 3 VLAN here that you have to create, which is the first one is VLAN 10. And you can name it to faculty or staff. So I just name it with staff, and then students, and also management and native. So it's very simple. Go to global configuration mode and then config terminal or config T. So, and then create the VLAN. So we have 3 VLAN, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 99. So the first VLAN, I will name it as staff. So you don't have to exit. Okay, so you just continue configuring without exiting the command. And then next for VLAN 20, the name is student. Be particular about the case, whether it is uppercase or lowercase. So you need to be very careful on that. And then the third VLAN name is management. Okay, so if I want to view back, so you can see now the prompt is the config VLAN prompt. So if you want to show or issue any show command, so you don't have to exit, so you just type do show. If you want to use the show command, supposedly you exit, okay, to go to user exit mode, and then you can use the show command. But here, if you are not on user exit mode, so basically to enforce the show command, you can use do to enforce the show command. So I just issue the command show VLAN brief. So you can see here the 3 VLANs has been created. Okay, now move to part 5, which is assign VLAN to ports. So to assign VLAN to ports, so we give the range. So like I mentioned earlier, for VLAN 10, the range is from F01 to F09. Oh, this is S. Enter. So we give and specify the access mode. So basically the access mode is mode access. So we have another mode, which is trunk mode. Okay, and then now when you have assigned the access mode to the VLAN, then we want to assign the VLAN number to this particular port. So the command is switch port access VLAN 10. We continue with the rest. So now we assign the ports to VLAN 20. So F0, 10 to 19, and then I just use tab because I'm just too lazy to type the whole sentence. Okay, and then next we assign it to VLAN 20. Okay, finally we will have the port from F020 to /24. So basically, this is unused port. So we will just shut down the command interface range F020 to 24, and then we shut down the port. Why? Because it's for security purposes. Okay, so we have done the configuration on S1. Let me see here. So I'll just check the connection here. Okay, so now once you have assigned the ports to all of the VLAN and specified the access mode to the VLAN, you can do the same for switch 2, but I'm not going to touch switch 2 at the moment. So because I'll just will concentrate on the network on the left first. Okay, but at home you can do and assign all the ports configuration for the switch on the branch or switch 2. Now the next thing that I want to do is I will continue with part 6. So part 6 is we need to configure the trunk. Just now we only configure for the port with access mode. Now we will configure for the trunk. So you double click on that. Okay, make sure you go to part 6. Okay, make sure you go to part 6. So interface, we don't, because you only have one port, so you ignore the command on the lab sheet. So in the lab sheet it says interface range G01, G01, right? But here, because we only have one port, so there's no range there. So you just type interface G01 and then switch port. And then we need to assign the port as native VLAN. Okay, so now VLAN 99 or the management VLAN will be the native VLAN for this switch. Okay, this is for security purposes. We do not want to use the default VLAN 1 as the native VLAN. Now, once you are done with this, so basically in the question it asks whether you can ping or not. You can verify by issuing the command show interface trunk. You can do that, but I will continue with the inter-VLAN routing using router on stick approach on the router in the next video.